Stop everything you are doing right now, because what I am about to share with you could put hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars back into your pocket this year and protect every aspect of your retirement that you have spent a lifetime building. A decisive 7-2 ruling just came down from the Supreme Court of the United States, and it has done something that advocates for seniors have been fighting for years to accomplish. It has cleared the single biggest legal obstacle standing between older Americans and the most sweeping geriatric care overhaul this country has seen in a generation. If you are over the age of 60, or if you have a parent, grandparent, or loved one who is, this decision affects you directly. We are talking about your prescription drug costs, your Social Security check, the quality of nursing homes, the safety of your retirement savings from fraud, your ability to stay in your own home as you age, and the mental health care that Medicare will now be required to cover more completely than ever before. And here's the part that almost nobody is telling you right now. Not every benefit that this ruling unlocks is automatic. Some of these protections only activate if you take action. Some have deadlines. Some require you to update your information with the right agency before a window closes. Miss the steps and you miss the money. It really is that simple. So stay with me through this entire update, because the action steps at the end could directly affect your financial future. Now let me give you the background you need to understand why this ruling is such a game changer. For years, the legislative framework for elder care in the United States has been stuck in a legal and political holding pattern. Major reforms passed by Congress would face immediate challenges in the courts. Nursing home staffing mandates got tied up in litigation. Drug Pricing Negotiation Authority got challenged by powerful industry groups before the ink was even dry. Housing accessibility funding got frozen by legal disputes over federal authority. And seniors, the people who actually needed these changes, waited and waited while the legal battles dragged on for months, sometimes years. America is also getting older every single day. Thousands of Americans enter retirement age daily. Millions are living longer than previous generations. The demand for long-term care, home health services, memory care programs, and caregiver assistance has exploded. And yet, despite all of that growing need, the system remained stuck. That is why this Supreme Court decision is generating so much attention. The central legal question was whether the federal government had the constitutional authority to implement and enforce broad standards related to elder care programs operating through Medicare, Medicaid, and federally funded healthcare systems. After years of uncertainty, 7 justices answered yes, only 2 dissented. And the size of that majority matters tremendously. A narrow 5-4 decision can feel fragile, like it is one retirement or one shift in the court away from being reversed. But a 7-2 ruling sends a completely different message. It signals a broad consensus among the nation's highest legal minds that the constitutional foundation supporting these reforms is solid. This is not just a legal technicality. When the Supreme Court speaks this clearly and decisively, it changes how every agency, every nursing home operator, every pharmacy benefit manager, and every financial institution in America has to operate. The lawsuit strategy that has frozen so many elder care reforms for so long is now significantly weaker. And that means the changes seniors have been waiting for are finally moving forward. Let me walk you through exactly what those changes look like in practice. The first and most immediately impactful change involves prescription drug pricing. This has been one of the biggest fights in American healthcare for decades. For far too long, Medicare, the single largest purchaser of prescription medications in the country, was legally restricted from negotiating drug prices directly with pharmaceutical companies. Private insurers could negotiate, the Department of Veterans Affairs could negotiate, but Medicare, covering more than 65 million Americans, was sidelined. Think about what that has meant in real terms. A drug costing $300 a month here might be just $40 across the border in Canada. Same pill, same manufacturer, dramatically different price. And the people paying those inflated prices were overwhelmingly elderly Americans living on fixed incomes with almost no individual bargaining power. With the legal challenges now cleared by this ruling, Medicare's negotiation authority can move into full implementation on a rolling schedule. If you or a loved one are currently spending $200, $300, or even $500 a month on medications for diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or arthritis, there is a strong likelihood those costs are coming down. The ruling also paves the way for a hard cap on annual out-of-pocket drug costs for Medicare beneficiaries. There will now be a ceiling on what you will ever pay in a single year for your prescriptions, no matter how many medications you take or how expensive they are. For millions of seniors who have faced the heartbreaking choice between filling prescriptions and buying groceries, this is life-changing. The second major area involves Social Security, specifically the cost of living adjustment formula and the long-term funding structure. The annual COLA is supposed to protect your benefits from inflation, yet the formula has traditionally tracked spending patterns of urban wage earners, not retired seniors. Seniors spend far more on health care, prescriptions, and in-home assistance, categories that rise in price faster than almost anything else. The reforms now cleared by the Supreme Court push forward the adoption of a more accurate inflation index designed specifically for senior spending patterns. Your annual Social Security adjustment will better reflect what your real life actually costs. Over time, this can mean hundreds of additional dollars per year for the average beneficiary. On a fixed income, that adds up to real security. The ruling also removes legal clouds over structural reforms designed to strengthen the Social Security Trust Fund and prevent threatened automatic benefit cuts that nobody wanted to see happen. The third area is nursing home reform, and this may have the most urgent human impact because people's lives and dignity are on the line right now in facilities across the country. Most families eventually face difficult decisions around long-term care. A loved one develops dementia, mobility declines. Medical needs become too complex to manage safely at home. When that happens, families place enormous trust in care facilities. They trust that residents will be treated with dignity. They trust that adequate staff will be present. They trust that safety standards will be maintained. Unfortunately, headlines over the years have shown that trust has not always been justified. Investigations have documented understaffing, neglect, medication mistakes, and inadequate living conditions that no family should ever have to witness. With the Supreme Court ruling clearing the constitutional path, nursing homes that receive Medicare and Medicaid funding are now subject to significantly stricter staffing requirements. Minimum staffing ratios mean a specific number of trained caregivers must actually be present for every resident, not just on paper. Penalties for violations are rising sharply. Repeat offenders risk losing federal funding entirely, and transparency requirements will make inspection reports, staffing data, and violation histories easily accessible to families. Because information is power. The more information families have, the better decisions they can make, and better decisions lead to better outcomes. The fourth major area is elder financial fraud protection, and I want to spend real time on this because it is a silent epidemic that destroys retirements quietly while receiving far too little attention. Every single year, older Americans lose tens of billions of dollars to financial predators. The schemes come in every form imaginable. Phone calls pretending to be from the IRS demanding immediate payment, fake Medicare representatives offering free services in exchange for your personal information, investment scams promising impossible returns, romance scams preying on lonely widows and widowers, home repair contractors who take large deposits and vanish, and perhaps the most painful of all, trusted family members or caregivers who slowly drain accounts over time. The FBI has called elder financial exploitation one of the fastest growing crimes in America. Victims often feel ashamed and confused and do not report it until the damage is catastrophic. The reforms now greenlit by this ruling create dedicated funding streams and stronger legal tools to fight back. That means more investigators specially trained to recognize and prosecute crimes against seniors, better coordination between federal agencies, state law enforcement, and financial institutions. Banks and credit unions are now required to flag suspicious patterns, sudden large withdrawals from a previously stable account, repeated wire transfers to unfamiliar places, or new names suddenly added to long-standing senior accounts. This is not just about recovery after the fact. It is about prevention, so that the retirement savings you worked decades to build stay safe. The fifth area touches something deeply personal for most seniors: housing and the ability to age in place. Ask most seniors where they want to spend their later years, and the answer is almost always the same. Home, not a facility, not an institution. Home, the place where memories were made, the neighborhood they know, the community they trust. The problem is that many homes built decades ago are not designed for later life. A staircase that seemed effortless at 40 can become dangerous at 80. A bathroom without grab bars turns into an accident zone. Narrow doorways block walkers or wheelchairs, and the cost of necessary modifications, ramps, walk-in showers, wider doors, better lighting, can run thousands of dollars that fixed-income seniors simply cannot afford. The Supreme Court ruling clears the legal path for significantly expanded funding for home modification assistance. Through grants and low-interest loan programs, eligible seniors can get real help to make these safety upgrades. These are not luxury renovations. They are essential changes that can mean the difference between staying independent in your own home and being forced into a facility years earlier than necessary. The sixth area is mental health access, something that rarely gets the attention it deserves. The loss of a spouse, the death of lifelong friends, retirement-related identity changes, chronic pain, social isolation, fear of becoming dependent on others. These experiences are incredibly common among older Americans, yet millions never receive professional support. Part of the problem has been access. Mental health providers are not always available. Coverage limitations create barriers. Transportation challenges make appointments difficult. And in rural areas, services may be extremely limited. This ruling strengthens reimbursement rates for mental health providers, making it viable for far more professionals to serve Medicare patients. It also expands telehealth options so seniors in rural areas or with mobility issues can receive counseling from the comfort of home. For someone facing transportation difficulties or chronic health conditions, that is not a small change. It can make an enormous difference. The seventh area provides long overdue support for family caregivers, and according to many experts, this could become one of the most significant areas affected by the entire overhaul. Right now, approximately 53 million Americans serve as unpaid caregivers. They drive parents to medical appointments, manage medications, prepare meals, coordinate doctor visits, and help with bathing, dressing, and mobility. Many are working full-time jobs while simultaneously caring for aging parents. Others have reduced their hours or left careers entirely. Some spend thousands of dollars every year from their own savings just to provide basic support. Studies have repeatedly shown that long-term caregivers face higher levels of stress, anxiety, depression, and physical health problems. When caregivers struggle, seniors often struggle as well. This ruling unlocks meaningful changes, including new tax credits to offset out-of-pocket costs, funding for caregiver training programs so families can manage complex medical needs safely at home, and expanded respite care options that allow caregivers to take necessary breaks. A supported caregiver provides better care for everyone involved. The eighth and final major area involves Medicare expansion for dental, vision, and hearing services, three critical gaps that original Medicare has long left uncovered. And these are not optional luxuries. They are fundamental components of healthy aging. Untreated dental problems can contribute to infections, nutritional issues, and broader health complications. Poor vision dramatically raises fall risk, which remains the leading cause of serious injury for those over 65. And researchers have increasingly linked untreated hearing loss to social isolation, cognitive decline, and reduced quality of life. Hearing aids often cost between $2,000 and $7,000 out of pocket. That is simply out of reach for the majority of seniors on fixed incomes. The legal pathway now cleared gives policymakers more room to pursue expanded subsidies, pilot programs, community-based services, and broader support systems focused specifically on these aging populations. We have now covered 8 major areas this historic ruling unlocks, but here is the crucial part that almost nobody is emphasizing. Not all of these benefits happen automatically. A Supreme Court ruling does not place every benefit into your hands overnight. Programs roll out in phases. Funding must be distributed. Infrastructure must be built. Some require you to enroll, some have deadlines. Miss them, and you could wait another full year or more to claim what you are entitled to. That is why what comes next is the most important part of this entire update. Here is your clear step-by-step action plan. Step 1. Go to the official Social Security Administration website at ssa.gov and log into your My Social Security account. If you do not have one yet, create it. It is free, secure, and takes about 15 minutes. Once inside, you can see your current benefit amount, any upcoming cost of living adjustments being processed under the new senior-focused measures, and any actions required from you. If you have a spouse or surviving family member receiving benefits, make sure they do the same. These improvements can mean hundreds of extra dollars per year, but only if your records are current and up to date. Step 2. Contact your state health insurance assistance program known as SHIP. Every state has one, and they provide completely free, unbiased, one-on-one counseling. These trained counselors are not trying to sell you anything. They exist specifically to help people like you navigate changes exactly like these. Call them this week and have them review your current Medicare plan in light of the new Drug Negotiation Authority, the out-of-pocket cap, and the expansions for dental, vision, hearing, and mental health services. Step 3. If you or a loved one are considering any type of long-term care, use the new transparency requirements to your advantage. Go online and look up the facility's latest inspection reports, actual staffing ratios, and violation histories. This information must now be made easily accessible to the public. Do not rely on marketing brochures. Look at the real data. If you are already in a facility and concerned about care quality, document everything and know that stronger enforcement mechanisms are now firmly in place. Step 4. Review all your financial accounts for any unusual activity. Set up alerts for large withdrawals or new account changes. Talk to your bank about their senior protection protocols and educate your family about common scam tactics. The best defense is awareness. Step 5. If you want to age in place, visit your local area agency on aging or go to eldercare.gov to learn about the expanded home modification grants and low-interest loans now moving forward. And if you are a family caregiver, look into the new tax credits and respite care options. You do not have to carry this weight alone anymore. Now, before I close, I need to give you a critical warning about scammers. They move extremely fast. Within days of a major ruling like this, predators start calling, texting, and emailing seniors with fake offers. They will say things like, "We can help you claim your new benefits for a small fee," or "Update your information with us right now to avoid losing your checks." "Do not engage." "Hang up immediately." Legitimate government agencies will never pressure you for immediate action over the phone, threaten your benefits, or ask for personal information unsolicited. All official help is completely free. If something feels off, contact the real agency directly using the number on your official Medicare card or from SSA.gov. Now let me close by asking you to step back and think about what this moment really represents. For years, seniors across this country have lain awake at night worried about the same things, standing at the pharmacy counter trying to decide which life-saving medication to skip this month, watching a loved one in an understaffed nursing home not receiving the dignity they deserve, receiving that frightening call from the bank about suspicious transactions, struggling with untreated hearing loss, dental pain, or loneliness that slowly chips away at health and happiness, fearing they might become a burden to the children they spent a lifetime providing for. These are not abstract policy issues. These are real daily struggles happening in real homes to real people who spent a lifetime working, paying taxes, and raising families. This 7-2 Supreme Court ruling does not solve every problem overnight. No single decision ever could. But it removes the biggest legal roadblock that has held back meaningful reform for years. It clears the path for lower drug costs, fairer Social Security adjustments, safer nursing homes, stronger fraud protections, better housing support, improved mental health access, caregiver relief, and expanded Medicare benefits. The pharmaceutical companies, some nursing home operators, and financial predators who benefited from the old system will not simply accept this. They will lobby, challenge, and try to delay. That is exactly why staying informed and taking action matters so much right now. Knowledge in this case is far more than power. It is money in your pocket, safety for your loved ones, dignity in your later years, and peace of mind for your family. You have earned these protections through decades of hard work. Now is the time to claim them. If this update helped you, please share it with any friend, family member, or neighbor over 60, or anyone with aging parents who need to hear this. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a future update as these reforms roll out, and take at least one action step this week. Even simply logging into SSA.gov is a powerful start. Your future self and your family will thank you for it. Stay safe, stay informed, and take care of yourself and everyone you love.